Hey, Bushy.
Hey, Sufi.
It's time for another listener episode.
Yeah, I'm excited. I like
With some
these.
questions, too. I like these. I feel like, you know what we should do? No, we probably should have asked him earlier. I feel like we should ask Dad at the end of the year for his top 3 favorite listeners.
Oh, yeah, that's not a bad idea.
You know,
And
Dad
maybe
would love another reason to start a list.
I feel like mom makes more lists than Dad makes.
Yeah. Dad makes, like, action plans.
Yeah. This is like he makes lists of things that he wants to remedy.
Dad's completely fallen victim to AI as a tool.
Oh yeah, I was just home, and he was telling me about it. He's like, I'm using ChatGPT. It's so good.
It's a very good dad impression. I think when Frisbee died, I think he used ChatGPT because I got a text from him being like, sharing condolences for the loss of your dog. Pets are important to family.
If he's used AI on me, I haven't been able to
tell.
detect it yet.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Do you think Mom is bullish and excited about his use of AI? You know what she's doing? She's rolling her AIs. You know what though? I do want to now give a loving shout out to Punkieri, who has been sending some very nice texts recently about when we get good zingers in.
Oh yeah. He doesn't mind sort of being on the receiving end, I feel like.
No, but also, every now and then it's just, that was really, again, nothing makes me happier than him saying, Poshy said something about Mommy, and we both laughed so hard in the car listening to it.
Yeah.
I mean, what a good situation for them right now that they just go on car rides and
listen to us.
Well, pretty much the only thing they agree on is us.
Yeah.
So
I've been in the car. Like Dad will listen to some sports radio. And
yeah.
You have in your past.
In my past, yeah, it's not a big part of my life.
And I mean no disrespect to people who broadcast sports radio, but I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's like, and if you're not into it, it's one of the worst things you could possibly listen to.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that not only do I listen to, first of all, only in football season, right? Mm-hmm. I like listening to Bill Simmons and Cousin Sal, who, and they have a weekly podcast, and I love it. I genuinely love it. Yeah. I think they're both really good, and it's that thing with podcasts. I feel like I know them now, and so I like listening to it. But then I will listen to just podcasts about the Steelers, and I never, when it's over, think I couldn't have done that. You know what I mean? I'm always just like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's great, and I love it, and it's comfort, and I'm, again, no shade, but I've never, like, they never have more insight than, like, you and I would have watching the game.
Right. And like I do enjoy sports on the radio. I'll listen to a basketball game. Baseball is historically like one of the best possible ways to experience a baseball game. People that do those play-by-play and color commentary are just so good at it. But it's the chatter afterwards that
we were listening. We were driving up to our fantasy weekend, and I was in a car, which was a real gift to be on a 2-hour drive with one of our old friends, Kevin Cohen.
Yeah.
Who's a fellow Pittsburgh Pirate fan. And we were listening to the Pirates on the radio, and it was so lovely because you can just kind of talk over it, and then you're listening to a couple guys. But the Dodgers have a catcher whose last name is Rushing, and by the 3rd inning, the Pirates announcers have made so many terrible rushing puns. Like well, he's certainly not rushing down to first. It's just a real. It was brutal.
Yeah. Hey, before we get into this today, I believe this is going to come out on like September 25th or something like that.
Cool.
And on the 26th, Jeff Tweedy is dropping a triple album called Twilight Override.
Wow.
So the dude who you all know from his maybe most famous track, Family Trips with the Meyers brothers.
Yeah, his shortest and most famous track.
Yeah. Dropping a triple album.
That's very exciting. Now, I would imagine when you fill up 3 albums, you probably throw your podcast jingles on there.
Probably. We might be on there.
You'd hope
maybe, yeah. We're maybe on a demo track on the 3rd album, way at the bottom.
I mean, one of my favorite albums of all time is Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, and you can listen. I mean, I think there's like a 10-disc box set of all the demos. It would be really funny if he had done 15 different versions of Family Trips. Instead of what likely happened, he pressed record, sang the first thing that came to his mind, and sent it out.
Yeah. Also, I believe you talked to him about it once, and he had forgotten that he had done it. So.
Totally forgotten he'd done it. Yeah. The guy writes a lot of songs, but
he does.
I will say he's also very funny, so it might have just been a little bit of a burn.
Yeah.
Might have been a little trip to Burntown.
But I saw that was coming out, and I've already pre-saved it. I'm very excited to hear our buddy Jeff.
Yeah. I'm very excited to hear some listener stories. We're going to call in our producer, Sam, who of our 2 producers, Sam and Jeff, is our favorite.
That is what I love to hear.
Because Jeff's always riding us about, like, did you hit record? You're not in the frame. Just, it's a real taskmaster.
Well, we have some really good stories for you today and a couple questions.
All right.
That I'm excited to play for you.
All right. Let's get going.
This is Brenda from Somerville, Mass. And this isn't a trip that I went on, but one where my family visited me. I have to preface it by saying that I grew up in rural Maine and have a giant family. My grandmother had 60-something grandchildren and 80-something great-grandchildren, and the extended family goes on from there. So my mom would often surprise me by telling me someone was related to me. Like, I had a crush on a boy in the 5th grade, and when my mom met his mom, all they talked about was what relatives we had in common. Anyway, so my mom and my aunt were flying from Maine to visit my sister in Florida, and it was the first time my mom had ever flown, so she was nervous. But when they went to transfer in Boston, it turned out that their next flight was canceled, and they were stuck there until the next day. Luckily, I lived nearby, so they could spend the night at my house. But when they showed up, they had a random 8-year-old in tow. Apparently, he was traveling alone to see his dad, and never having met him before, my mom somehow figured out that he was a distant cousin and convinced his mom over the phone to let him spend the night with us. He was a sweet kid, and we were happy to help him out. We spent a fun evening visiting. They made it to Florida the next day, but I couldn't imagine what his mom thought when she got the call from the airline people who helped unaccompanied minors, asking if he could stay with this unknown family member. Anyway, thanks for the podcast.
That's so great.
I just like that they had so many relations that when there's an unaccompanied minor, they're like, hey, he's probably one of ours.
Yeah, we got him.
Was he left from Maine? Yeah, he's probably one of ours.
I believe there's an app in Iceland to help Icelandic people determine whether or not they're related to someone that you might meet in a bar and hook up with. And I believe like hello cousin is pretty much like hello friend.
Yes. There's a real chance in an incredible country full of attractive people that sadly you might be related.
I do. I mean, what a great circumstance to have, if your mom has to get on a plane and, to be delayed on a trip is a real bummer, especially to be delayed a full day.
Yeah.
But to be able to have them show up at your house in Somerville and spend a night, it's so nice and convenient. And I feel like unless I was very, very busy, I would always be so happy to sort of open my door to someone who was passing through that was family.
I just like sending, I think it's a rite of passage for a kid that age, 8 years old, to travel alone. And it's so funny to say, now you're going to get on the plane, they're going to take good care of you. And, if at any point you meet a distant cousin, obviously you're going to sleep at a house you've never been in with them. We had a cousin of ours visit from Austin, 8-year-old boy. And he came and stayed with us for a week, but he had to fly by himself. And it was really very cool that this little dude did it by himself and was so proud of himself for having arrived in New York City.
Yeah.
And,
do you think he was an ass ache on the plane?
No, he's a good kid.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a good kid. Whereas I think mine would be the other way.
Yeah. Well, I think when you're an unaccompanied minor, you get free drinks, right?
Yeah. I mean, they don't. They sort of suggest them if you reach a point where they don't want to deal with you anymore.
Right. They're like maybe a Jack and Ginger to shut you up.
Addie likes taking a sip of my coffee. No, sorry. Addie likes smelling my coffee every morning when I have it. She wants to hold it over.
I get that.
Yeah. And then the other day, Axel said, "Let me take a sniff." And then, of course, I handed it to him, and he just took a big old slug of coffee. And based on everything you've heard about Axel, hopefully you know that that's not what he needs.
Yeah.
No one's get a little more caffeine in him.
There's a great coffee store. I don't know if you've ever taken Addie into it near you. It's just this Puerto Rican coffee place that has these just huge bags and like just full of beans. And I love going in there. I will always get a cup of coffee when I'm in New York City there. But more than anything else, I just like walking in and the smell sort of.
The smells.
Yeah.
Should we go back to how often people in Iceland almost hook up with their cousins?
Sure.
Do you think when they say blue balls there, it's that they realized at the last minute they were about to have sex with their cousin? Or do you think they say blue balls because it's just so cold there that their balls are just naturally blue?
I don't know. Yeah.
Is that can you use blue balls as an expression if your balls are blue all the time? Because I guess what I'm getting at.
I think that's not fair.
Yeah.
I feel this is a family show, but I have a stance on blue balls.
Interesting.
That men will not appreciate, but I stand by it.
Okay.
Not a thing.
Not a thing.
It's not a thing. It's an excuse that guys say. They're like, oh, it hurts. I have to. Otherwise, I get, ow. Not real.
Not real.
Not real. Never been real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's a real hot take. That's a hot take on cold balls.
Yeah. Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break and hear from some of our sponsors.
Support comes from Uplift Desk. Hey, Bashi.
Yes, Uvi.
You got an Uplift Desk, and your productivity is just through the roof, right?
I love it. I just feel better. It's weird to love a desk, but I love my desk.
But it took forever to put it together, right? It took like 7 days of just hard labor, 8 hours a day. No? Tell me more. What?
No, it was pretty quick.
Really?
Yeah.
But like Pashi, were you bummed that there was only one version of the desk and you had to do that one with no modifications?
No, bro. There's so many customizations on this thing. The shape of the desk was exactly what I wanted. The length. The height's not really an issue because I always keep it way up because I'm standing on my little rock and roller.
And you're no shorty.
Yeah, no. It's great. It's a beautiful desk, and I love standing up to do work all day because sitting down, you feel lethargic because you are lethargic. You're not doing anything. But when you're standing up, you feel better, have more energy, more productive.
Still pretty hurtful considering I sit for the entirety of my talk show and you're just like attacking us. But
you used to stand at the beginning years, and then you were like, I don't know.
People don't like my legs.
Standing.
People don't like my legs. Transform your workplace and unlock your full potential with the all-new Uplift V3 standing desk. Go to upliftdesk.com/trips and use our code TRIPS to get 4 free accessories, free same-day shipping, free returns, and an industry-leading 15-year warranty that covers your entire desk, plus an extra discount off your entire order. That's upliftdesk.com/trips. For this exclusive offer, it's only available through our link. Support for today's episode comes from Square. Hey, Bashi.
Yasufi.
You only pay with cash money on the barrelhead, right?
What?
Are you telling me you've tapped to pay?
I'm a big tapper. I believe in tapping. I need to teach Mom how to tap.
Oh, yeah, Mom can't tap. She can't tap dance. She can't tap pay.
No, but she's got to be able to because it's the future. And the future's here.
Oh, it is here? Tell me more about the future.
Well,
especially now that it's the present.
Well, Square, The system powering like half the places I've go. If you've ever tapped to pay and thought, whoa, that was fast, it was probably Square. Because whether you're selling lattes, cutting hair, detailing cars, or running a design studio, Square helps you run your business without running yourself into the ground.
Look, I was slow to tap, Posh. I'll just admit it.
Yeah.
Got a lot of shade from my wife and kids. Always taking out my big old dad wallet. And now they're like, just tap.
Yeah.
And it's great. I go to my local coffee place, tap, boom, drinking my coffee. You get it.
You know, the holidays are coming up, and Mackenzie and I will go to a lot of craft fairs and things. And so there's all these little vendors and these little kiosks and booths, and all the good ones, they've got that Square so you can just tap and pay.
That's so good.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I'm so sad that we live so far away, and then I hear that you go to craft fairs, and I feel safe.
Well,
with a whole country between us. If you're starting a business or running one that deserves better tools, Square helps you sell, manage, and grow without slowing down. Right now, you can get up to $200 off Square hardware at square.com/go/trips. That's SQUARE.com/GO/trips. Run your business smarter with Square. Get started today.
Sounds like somebody's getting crafts for Christmas.
Oh, no. Here we go. Let's hear our next story.
What's up, Seth and Josh? My name is Daniel. I'm from Philly. Huge fan of the pod. I started listening about a month ago and have just been tearing through episodes since then. And it's just gotten me thinking a lot about the trips I took growing up with my family. I come from a core four family as well, just like you two. My mom, my dad, my sister, and I. And we grew up going to Wellfleet for a number of years. Wellfleet is on Cape Cod. It's really like a, kind of hippie, crunchy granola part of the Cape. Really beautiful, really natural, lots of woods. And I just have so many great memories of going there every summer. We usually went right after school let out around late June. And when we went up, we would always divide the drive up into 2 days. So the first day we would go to our family friend's house in Greenwich, Connecticut, spend the night, see them, and then the next morning go the rest of the way to the Cape. And this is around 2002. And we drive up to Greenwich, spend the night, and there was a really bad storm that night, raining and thunder and lightning the whole night. And it clears up by the daytime, so we get back in the car and make the rest of the trip to the Cape. And when we get to our house that we were renting for the week, we get out and kind of immediately notice that there are a lot of flies around, and don't really think much of it. Our house is really nestled in the woods, so we just kind of keep it pushing and go into the house and spend our first night. Next day in the morning, we get out of the car or get out to the car to go to the beach, and we notice the flies are still there. So a little odd, but we just keep it moving to get to the beach. And we when we drive to the parking lot of the beach, the flies have followed us. So at this point, my dad turns to my mom and says, I think we better check this out. My mom wisely moves me and my sister, a little bit away, just not really sure what to expect. And my dad opens the hood of the car and immediately jumps back and yells out. And he finds a large dead groundhog slumped over the wheel under the hood. Flies everywhere swarming around it. Long dead. Our hypothesis is that he, during the storm in Greenwich, got his way into the hood. Not sure if he was going there to die or died later on, but he was long dead at this point. And, the car had been running a fair bit since then, so he was a little bit cooked on there as well. So really not what you want to find in the middle of your vacation in the hood of your car. But my dad, ever the hero, decides to take care of this, and my mom and me and my sister stay at the beach. So he drives back to the house and calls the town operator essentially to figure out what to do or who to help with this. And it's a Sunday, so all businesses that would normally be able to help him are closed and unavailable. And the operator, he basically asks, is there anyone from animal control that can help me out with this? And she quickly corrects him and says, sir, animal control is only for animals that are alive. So she essentially tells him that he's on his own and wishes him luck and hangs up the phone. My dad then looks for, anything around the house to help him remove this. And for years, I was under the impression that he had used a stick or something to pry off the groundhog. And he corrected me when I cross-referenced this story with him a couple weeks ago. And he told me that he only had large garbage bags. So essentially had to dog poop method this groundhog, inversing the bag, getting it in, and then reversing it to put it in the bag. He told me it did not all come off in one piece. So here's my dad in the middle of Wellfleet, just removing a groundhog piece by piece, flies swarming around him off of his car. And, has to double bag it, put it in the trash can near the house, and then promptly comes back to the pond where we are to immediately get in the water and rinse off the air of dead groundhog that he had been surrounded by for hours and hours. Massive shout out to my dad for dealing with that. And honestly, great vibes going out to the groundhog. Hope he's in a better place. And it really just lives on in our family stories as really just a memorable moment for Wellfleet, a memorable moment for our family, and hope you enjoyed it as well. Thanks so much, guys. Keep up the good work.
That's amazing. The only good thing about that, do you know what it is? When you find a groundhog dead in your car, 2 more weeks of summer.
Oh.
I like that all the places that could help were closed, like the Groundhog Morgue. Dead Groundhog Getters, that place is only open from Monday through Friday.
Yeah. Engine roadkill removal.
Engine cleanup, yeah.
I'm very curious. Mackenzie, my wife, her family used to have...
Borat.
Mackenzie, my wife. Her family used to have a house in North Truro, which is very close to Wellfleet. And there is a pond that she always used to go to that she calls just the magical pond. And I wonder if that's where they were swimming at the time.
It was your family used to, Mackenzie's family had a tradition where they would kill groundhogs and put it in tourist cars. Yeah, it's really, I will say a couple of summers ago, there was a dead skunk under the porch at my in-laws' house. And my in-laws weren't there. And I heard just Alexi and her sister talking about, like, what are we going to do? Who are we going to call to get the dead skunk? And finally, I kind of perked up. I was probably playing a word game or something on my phone.
That sounds right.
And I said, I can get rid of a dead skunk. And they were like, you can? And I'm like, yeah, dude. Same thing. Like a live animal I want no part of, but like a skunk carcass, I'll go to town. Plus, I felt like if I could interact with a skunk carcass, I'd have something to blame my odor on for the next couple days. Like a pre-existing skunky odor. All of a sudden they could be like, oh, Seth stinks. And they'd be like, actually, it's because he's helpful.
Yeah. You're still dining outside on that one.
Oh, I'm dining out on dead skunk. Put it on a little shovel. Carried it over to the woods. Gave it a big old chuck.
Oh, that was your solution?
One piece, I will say, like the 2-piece groundhog. That is definitely a.
Yeah, I left my car in New Hampshire when I did that Pee Wee Herman show on Broadway, and then went back, and squirrels had moved into my sort of like engine for the winter. And had to get a bunch of stuff fixed up because
we've had our cars have been squirreled, and you kind of know when you open up the hood and there's 1,000 nutshells.
Yeah, you're like, this isn't a nut car.
Yeah, you're like, who put these nuts in here?
Running on nuts. Yeah. It's dead animals. It's hard to. Mackenzie never wants to like deal with them, and I get it. No one wants to. Yeah. But it is like you do sort of feel like you want to call animal control and you want someone to tell you what to do. I called Dad once. My old dog Pickles had run onto our balcony and like there was a mouse and he sort of like, hit the mouse with his paw and I was like, get out of there. And the mouse was like struggling. It wasn't going to recover from this one. Yeah. But I got this mouse and I had to put it out of its misery, which I hate doing, and I didn't know what to do. And it's like, am I going to get like a hammer? That seemed a little violent. And I called Dad, and I was like, there's this mouse. I don't know what to do. I can like get it onto a dustpan, but do I have to smash it? And he's like, is it bigger than a piece of poop? And I said, no. He's like, just flush it down the toilet. So I didn't feel not proud of myself, but that was how that mouse met its end.
Can I throw something out there?
Sure.
If given the choice, I would prefer hammer.
Yeah, probably.
You know what I mean? So that's great. That I certainly don't want like the means of my demise being chosen vis-a-vis the size of me versus a piece of poop. My God.
Were you there in Amsterdam when there was a pigeon in the middle of the road? We were eating lunch at a cafe. And it was like on one of those trips where you brought a bunch of SNL people. We're having lunch, and there's this pigeon that's just sort of like waddling around, and cars keep driving, not like their wheels aren't going over it, but cars are passing over it.
Yeah.
And it was just like a weird situation to be sitting having lunch and watching this thing. And I went inside, and to the owner of the restaurant, I was like, there's this pigeon. I don't know if you can do anything. And he was like, a pigeon? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay. And he like grabbed a bag, came out, put the pigeon in the bag, and swung it against a tree as hard as he could. And that was it. Like that was the hammer option.
Oh my God. By the way, like it seems like every one of these animals that crosses your path is like, oh fuck, Poshy. No, don't go tell that guy. No.
I was telling for other people. I mean, look, I didn't like it either, but some people were in distress watching this.
Well, that's great. I'm sure they felt a lot better once they saw it get smashed against. Oh, it's really good.
Rest in peace, Pigeon and Groundhog and Mouse.
Pigeon and Groundhog and Mouse.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel. Great story. Also, can I just say, Daniel saying he's from Philly sounds like a normal person. Been watching that new show Task from the makers.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about it.
It's fantastic. Ruffalo, all-time great guy. Yep. But man, oh man, they're dining out on that Philly accent.
Oh really?
Yeah. And I feel like they do this thing like real early on. They have characters say like too many Philly things. Like Mark Ruffalo's like, you coming home early? I'm going to make some scrapple. Maybe I'll stop by for a water ice. And you're like, all right, we know it's in Philly. I have to like talk about these weird foods. Anyway, though, it's great. I highly recommend it. And
great. I'll check it out. We've got one more story before we get into some questions.
Very
Sam?
exciting, by the way. If you've heard your story so far, very exciting because now you're getting, you're going to get the Posh treatment. If you've been mentioned so far, if we've listened to your stories, Poshy has to put one of your names in a song. It's a really cool thing. Congratulations on your...
Congratulations, Brenda, Daniel, and...
Hi, Seth and Josh. This is Cheryl from Wilmette, Illinois.
Woo!
I want to tell you about a family trip we took in March 2012. My sons were 18 and 22, both in college, and although they went to different universities, they miraculously had the same spring break. My husband and I decided to book a cruise for the four of us. The usual routine was that my husband and I would get up early, eat breakfast, and hang out by the pool, and the boys would mosey over when they finally woke up closer to lunchtime. One morning, I was guiltily saving chairs for them when I heard Mike, the cruise director, announce that the Synchronized swimming competition was about to begin. And as long as I was out of my lounge chair, I walked over to check it out. I was expecting a group of 10-year-old girls who had worked up a routine while becoming new best friends this week on the cruise. Instead, I see my sons standing at the side of the pool with huge, shit-eating grins on their faces. I try to process this. Didn't he say synchronized swimming? My sons are definitely not synchronized, nor are they particularly good swimmers. They were here the whole time? I thought they were still sleeping. I look carefully at these two imposters and wonder what they've done with my real sons. Before I get their attention, the Chariots of Fire theme song starts to play.
That's fantastic.
My boys raise their hands over their heads, and first my younger son Jesse, and then my older boy Rob, do a sideways dive into the pool, followed in turn by three other college-age boys. The crowd starts to laugh and cheer. The five boys form a circle and do handstands with their unbelievably long legs sticking out of the water. They emerge, put their hands on each other's shoulders, and spit water in great arcs like the Buckingham Fountain. Then they move clockwise and spin like ballerinas with their hands over their heads. For the grand finale, the boys lift Jesse into the air and throw all 6'5" of him into the water with a huge splash. They get out of the pool and take a big bow to the whistles and cheers of the crowd. They receive their medals while the crowd applauds, and I get in line behind a group of girls in bikinis waiting to talk to them. I finally get to the front of the line, and I literally don't know what question to ask first. The story of how they joined the Pool Olympics synchronized swim team sounds much like the story of how most of their quote-unquote plans get made. Somebody met somebody somewhere who needed 2 more guys for a team, and my boys looked at each other, shrugged their shoulders, and said, okay. Although there are over 3,000 people on the ship, my boys had achieved some level of notoriety. They had already won the guest versus crew volleyball tournament and the 3-on-3 basketball. Rob had danced in the Michael Jackson dance contest, and Jesse was a finalist in Crew's Karaoke Idol. An older couple riding handicapped scooters wheeled up to me when the ship docked in St. Martin and told me how much fun they had had playing Texas Hold'em with my sons in the casino. This probably goes without saying, but my boys were, and still are, gamers. It's a lot of fun being their mom. That vacation was, for me, one of our best. I treasured every day with them. Looming ahead was the reality that Rob was graduating college in a few weeks and starting a new job, and I didn't know when the 4 of us would be vacationing together again. Thanks for listening. Love the podcast.
Suvi got a little choked up.
I got choked up at the end.
Yeah.
That was so sweet. What a great story.
Yeah. I mean, those are great brothers. That sort of, now I'm getting choked up.
I wasn't choked up at all listening to their synchronized swimming story.
I know, but it's the end. It's the sort of the...
Also, what more could you ask than to have kids that are gamers?
Yeah. Gamers and gamers that are, that an old couple in their sort of, electric wheelchairs would be like, hey, we love playing Texas Hold'em with your boys. It sounds like universally beloved by just being good time guys.
I'm also crying because I've never in my life wanted to go on a cruise, and now I think I'm going to get fucking tricked into doing one. I'm crying about being on day 3 of a cruise. My kids haven't done anything. Nobody's saying they're a fun hang. They haven't done anything synchronized.
Oh yeah,
that was the best. What a great story. What fun kids.
Yeah. Shout out to Jesse and Rob.
Jesse and Rob. Yeah, man. What I wouldn't give to be on a boat with those two.
Yeah.
Wildcats.
Yeah. Also, Wilmette, we should point out, is the first place we ever lived.
Yeah. Shout out to Wilmette.
Yeah, as real babies.
Yeah.
That's great. We, on one of our, guys' weekends, our previous fantasy football draft weekends, that we had a pool, and we broke into 2-man teams and had a
synchronized swimming contest.
Synchronized swimming contest, and it was it's so dumb, but it's so fun. And
it's one of the best. I mean, I think about it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like, because it's the same process as like playing, pickup football, where you come into a huddle and you draw up a play and you come to an agreement, like, all right, you run this way, you do this. But it's just like, all of a sudden it's 2 of you, and it's like, okay, we'll take 3 steps and we'll jump in and we come up and just stick your hands in the air and spin around 3 times. And there's such planning, and you won't be good at it. But it is such a delight to watch. Also, I will say, I love like real synchronized swimming. I'm a huge fan of it as an Olympic event.
Yeah.
I think it's incredible. All those old sort of like Busby Berkeley things of, the women in the great like bathing costumes. It's a great sort of pool activity.
I feel like we have a couple more pool weekends left, and I feel like I might try to bribe the boys into doing a synchronized swimming contest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to see what they can do.
Yeah. Where was I? Maybe I want to say I was in Oslo, and I went swimming. You could like sort of swim at this in the North Sea, maybe. And there was a morning where I was up before all my friends, and I was like, I'm going to go for this swim. I want to go swim out there. And there's this cool place with these these public docks. And I went down there, and there was this big group of college-age kids, boys and girls, and they were splashing around. And then they were sort of doing that thing where they were all jumping in, like one after the other. And then they asked if I could take a video, or I took a video. And then a guy came over, and I thought he was going to be like, hey, man, not cool. But he was like, can you send me that video? And I was so happy to be able to be like, yes, like this is a great memory of this day for you guys. It means something to me, but it'll mean a lot more to you. So I hope there's some good pics and videos from that cruise. Thank you, Cheryl. Congrats on
what a story.
Being a great mom to sort of guide your sons into a life of gamerism and making people happy.
Yeah. You just because you mentioned Oslo, it made me think of Boswell.
Oh,
kicker
yeah.
for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Chris Boswell.
Yeah.
Who is very good at kicking. And when he kicks a field goal, people will say, bingo Boswell.
Yeah.
And I showed highlights of the game to Ash, and he kicked a very long field goal to win the game against the Jets. And then we were walking to school, and he was explaining the game to Axel, which was very sweet.
Uh-huh.
And then he goes, and then at the end, bingo bongo, kicked the field goal. Calling him Bingo Bongo made me so happy. And there you go, Bingo Bongo.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break and hear from some of our sponsors. Support comes from Blue Land. Hey, Baji.
Yes, Sufi.
You and I share something.
What's that?
We don't enjoy microplastics.
No, I've never enjoyed them.
No, I just don't get what all the hubbub's about. That's why I've made the switch to Blue Land across all the cleaning products around my house. Their products meet the highest standard of clean. They're effective yet gentle on my family and planet. Blue Land was also named an EPA a Safer Choice Partner of the Year. From cleaning sprays and toilet bowl cleaner to dishwasher and laundry detergent tablets, Blue Land's formulas are 100% microplastic free, made with certified clean ingredients, free from chlorine, bleach, and harsh chemicals that are safe to use around my family. I love not having to choose between the safe option and what actually gets my house clean.
Blue Land is on a mission to make it easy for everyone to make sustainable choices. We believe that hardworking, clean products can be the norm, not the exception, so that you can do better for your family and the planet at the same time.
I really dig the laundry tablets, Posh, because we're dealing with, we're in the grass stain era with the boys, and they do a real number on them. Shout out to the tablets.
I also those tablets, they go in this cute little tin. It's not this huge bottle.
Yeah.
It's not this huge plastic tub of these weird pods.
No, it's just a cute little tin.
Cute little tin with cute little tablets that cleans your clothes.
Poshy loves a cute little tin. Blue Land has a special offer for listeners right now. Get 50% off your first order by going to blueland.com/trips. You won't want to miss this. Blueland.com/trips for 15% off. That's blueland.com/trips to get 15% off.
Here we go.
We may have some Q&As. What do we got, Sam?
Yeah, we got a couple questions. We have 2 questions, so I'm going to tee up the one.
All righty.
Hi, this is Terry from Minneapolis. I'm a huge fan of your show, and I have a question about the intro song that you had Jeff Tweedy write for you. What parameters, if anything, did you give to him when you asked him to write it? Did it have to be a certain length? Did it just have to include your names and the pod name? And just curious if there were rounds of revisions or if you were happy with the first go around. I guess that's it. Thanks. Love the show. Bye.
Thanks for the question. Terry. And it's so funny that we did discuss this at the top of this episode.
Yeah.
But one of our producers, Rob, basically said, hey, I basically have a connection to Jeff Tweedy. He knew we were huge fans of Wilco. He kind of independently thought, I feel like this show, Family Trips, ties into the idea of road trips, and Wilco is a great road trip band. And
Yeah, that sort of like Americana vibe, that sort of country.
Passenger Side is one of the great driving in a car songs of all time. And so
we put together a list like of possible intro songs of existing songs, and then Rob was like, I think doing something unique to you is better. And you had met Jeff Tweedy previously.
I met Tweedy a few times, and so he'd been on my show, but we didn't reach out. And I even said, Rob said, what do you think about Tweedy? I'm like, I guess I could reach out. And he said, well, let me see if I can even make contact. And then basically he just came back with a song. Rob said, how's this? And so we never gave parameters. We never gave length. I mean, I'm assuming Rob gave some direction. But it was one of the great hit plays of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. I listen to the podcast at double speed to sort of write the songs. But every now and again, when I am just listening to it at regular speed and that song kicks in, I kind of forget sometimes how much I like it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love it. And we're so appreciative.
It's so cool to love a song so much that the person who wrote and performed it doesn't even remember. The other time in my life I've had that is my first stand-up special on Netflix, Lobby Baby. I licensed a Hold Steady song. So the two bands that mean the most to me are Wilco and the Hold Steady. And I know Craig Finn in the same way. I know Jeff Tweedy. And so we licensed the song, and then I asked for the closing credits, could you write a song about like just Lobby Baby? Like the fact that my son was born in the lobby. Now, by the way, nobody listens to the closing songs of a stand-up special. This was literally money that came out of the budget that added no value, save for the fact that when I first got a song from my favorite band about my son, God, it's a real tough one today. Burst into tears. Yeah. And it's such a fucking jam. But I can't believe that like throughout my life, I'm going to be able to go back to this song that my favorite band wrote about Axl.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Lucky. We're very lucky.
We're very lucky. So thank you for the question, and thank you, the standing thank you forever to Jeff Tweedy.
I think we got one more question here.
Hey, Seth and Josh. This is Ayla. Seth, I was just wondering if you and your family have talked about getting another dog. I'm really sorry to hear about Frisbee. And also, Josh, just wondering how your dogs are doing. Thanks. I really love the pod.
Thank you so much for that very sweet question. I do think one day we will get another dog, but only when the kids want another dog. I think they started from a weird place where we had this dog that existed before they were around, and by the time they were kids, Frisbee was an old dog that didn't really do any of the fun dog things, like run over to them, noodle with them, want to cuddle with them. And so I weirdly think that, like, while they're sad that Frisbee's gone, they're not like, we got to get another one of those.
Right.
We need to get another lump under a blanket.
Yeah.
And so but if they ever, turned the corner and they met somebody else's dog and they were like, we want a dog like this, I think we would jump at the opportunity. But we don't want to get another dog that is a dog for the parents when the kids aren't that interested.
Yeah. Also, I feel like maybe your kids need to be a little bit older so that at least Ash could take some responsibility for the dog and like, maybe walking the dog duties.
Although, man, it's so weird. Like, that's the thing about, like, New York City. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess, if you got a 15-year-old, they'll probably be walking themselves to school so they can go out in the morning and walk the dog.
Yeah.
But, it is something where I feel like it's gonna be me.
And then, my dogs are good. Our old girl, Debbie, is 14, and, she's certainly from her youth has slowed down a bit. Not that she was ever fast, but she's great, and she shows these bursts of speed every now and again if she sees something that she wants to run after, or if it's, she's coming in for breakfast in the morning. Sometimes she gets that in her mind and will run, and it's very exciting. Or Mackenzie will bring the dogs up to the barn every now and again, and we'll run with them sort of through the ring where the horses ride. Woody's great. He's the nicest dog I've ever had.
Is he really the nicest dog you've ever had?
Yeah. He is so friendly, and like I don't have to worry about him with like, he loves kids and babies, and he goes up to them and his tail wags so hard, but he's not going to jump on anyone. He's not going to bite anyone.
How long have you had him now?
Just over 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
He fit right in.
August 15th of this year was 2 years. So yeah, we love having him, and and they're.
How much in the bed are the dogs?
Debbie all night, every night. And Woody starts in the bed, and then he's got a bed next to the bed, a dog bed next to the bed, and he'll go down to that sometimes. I'd say like 50% of the time. But then as soon as there's movement, he's up and he's like standing on my chest.
Great.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling.
He yawns throughout the day, but he yawns in the morning so vocally, like he really makes a meal of it to be like, I guess we're getting up now, right? And he actually growled at me this morning when I was in the closet putting my clothes on, because I sort of took a quick shower. And he was like, "What are you doing this for? You usually take me straight out." And then I guess I was taking too long, and he walked into the closet growling at me to be like, "What are you doing?"
That's great.
Yeah.
I think when you lose a pet, you often, lovingly remember things that drove you crazy. But when Frisbee slept in bed with us, she would do a thing where she would, in the middle of the night, just crawl out from underneath the covers, stand in the middle of the bed, and shake her entire body. And we called it the helicopter, because it was like... and then she would like come back and get underneath the covers, and so we are romanticizing how much we loved a thing that was always just a total sleep interrupter. But
right.
I have received some very nice Frisbee. This is a yarn Frisbee that someone made.
Yeah,
so
very
nice.
There's
a lot of nice.
It looks like her. Looks very much.
It does
like
look
her.
like her. It's And she was a very. It's great, that. I mean, again, you had it with Pickle certainly, but sometimes when you're like, oh my God, 14 years.
Yeah.
Like, I had that dog longer than any place I've ever lived.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's really nuts. Yeah. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the kindness, and I'm so thankful that Debbie and Woody are still with us.
Yeah. All right, everybody.
I think that's it. It was lovely to spend an afternoon listening to your stories and your questions. And I'm sorry I cried twice.
Our producer Sam also wrote in, just chatted us to say that she was crying as well. So you got us all over here.
She was crying because we never stay on task. She was crying because we both forgot to hit record.
Yeah. And Jeff was just laughing at all of it.
Just was just laughing. No heart. All right. Thank you, everybody. We love you.
Thank you.
Family trip.